news at KXIC.com. That's the word news at KXIC.com. And Ron, what else are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about training your dog, and we're going to talk about those trouble childs out there, and that if you followed this show, you know that I've got one at home. Not that she's an angry dog or anything like that. It's just, gosh, I mean, she's always trying to train us at home. And for instance, when the snow melted, she decided, I'm going to go check out the woods and see what's out here. Oh, I smell something over here. I'm going to go over there too, even though she knows the boundaries and all that, and that she gets muddy. We don't want to lose her. There's roads around us, and we don't want her to get hit by a car by any means. And so what do you do in those situations? Do you just lock them up in your house and you never let them out, or you always have them on a leash? What's an alternative out there if you've tried everything? We'll go through some basics, but then we're going to jump fairly quickly to some more advanced products on how do I handle that. And we're going to talk about what everybody knows is the shock collar. And we're going to take the myths away from that and understand how that is actually a great tool. And we're going to understand and put it into perspective of what it's all about, and that, hey, this is not something that's hurting, damaging your dog. It's something that's getting their attention. And we're going to talk about relating with the dog. What does that mean? And we're going to feel a lot better about it, and it's going to be an extraordinary tool for those a little bit more tenacious dogs that want to train us.
And I would love to, again, just to add a little spin to this show in particular, is stories of loyalty would be great. If there is something that you have, our Amazing Pet Story of the Week has a story of loyalty here, and I think that'd be great. If there's any local stories of anyone who has something to tell us, I think that'd be great. 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800. So let's get that out of the way. Big voice guy. Thank you, big voice guy. You're pretty loyal too, even though we're not the nicest to you, specifically me. You're a pretty nice guy. We appreciate it. After a earthquake and tsunami hit Japan on March 11th, media full of tragic news, as well as amazing stories of survival. One such survival story centered on a dog that stood guard over an injured canine in a debris-strewn beach. The dog was extremely protective of its wounded pal. Rescuers were eventually able to calm him down enough to get the injured pup to a veterinary clinic, but that loyal dog was recognized and is still, to this day recognized as being, a good pal to that dog. He stood by that wounded dog, knew something was wrong, and he was protective. Almost wouldn't let the rescue workers come to get the dog because they thought people might be coming to hurt it even more.
Right. There's some basic instincts. Don't come and eat my dog.
They have
my friend.
that extra sense, and we'd love to hear your stories of loyalty. 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800. If there's story that you know about, that'd be a great way to add to the show here today on the first day of May. Welcome to May, everybody, as we have a brand new month, and we're going to talk about the topics Ron mentioned and much more. We have the Morkie to talk about, so we'll get into that. That's our amazing. That was the Amazing Pet Story of the Week. The breed of the week is the Morkie. So stay tuned for that. So Ron, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with this?
Oh, it's the Morkie. We always do that.
Okay. All right. Let's do the breed of the week. We'll introduce the.
You're really interested in this.
Well, I'm curious to see a little bit. I've never seen one of those in person here. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I brought one in for visual.
We will learn more about it. All right. So let's hear about the Morkie then.
All right. So the Morkie is one of those that's becoming more and more very popular out there. It is a mix. It's a small breed. It is a non-shedding breed. It's a hybrid of two purebreds. So it's the Maltese and the Yorkshire Terrier. And so people that like those small breeds, this is one I would suspect in, let's give it 50 years from now, is going to become a purebred. And I know those purebreders out there are going, no way! But realize all purebreds of today were mixed breeds of
at one point, right?
Yeah. And so they all came together, and somebody really liked the traits. I will say in the past it was more functional traits that people were interested in, whether it be a guarding dog or a herding dog, a hunting dog, all those kind of things. in today's world, we're all about looks and stuff like that, and that's where the Morkie is just this cutest little thing. You can go on our website, or you can go on our website, but Facebook right now has a picture of a Morkie of 2 different colors, and so you can go to Petland, Iowa City on Facebook, search that out, and you'll see it. It's like, yeah, it would be the first post. Colors that you can get are primarily 2 basic patterns. One is a butterscotch, and then the other one is it's mainly black, brown highlights with a little bit of white in it. And those are the 2 different Morkies. Jay's trying to find it on our website right now, and I had to retread. We haven't gotten it up quite yet. So later on today, you'll be able to see it on PetlandIowaCity.com, and they'll be up there, and you'll get to see all of the Morkies. And I'm thinking I have somewhere around 8.
8?
So there's a lot of Morkies in the store right now.
You do have a Siberian Husky with beautiful blue eyes, though.
Yeah. This Husky is extraordinary. It's got white highlights on the end of its fur, so it's really a beautiful Husky.
It is.
I have one of our counselors saying, "I want to get it,"
Oh.
and so I'm like, well, we gotta let everybody else have a turn here to get that Husky. So yeah, a lot of different breeds in our store right now. So a lot of unique things. So if you're wondering, what's the right breed for you, come on into Petland and play.
The miniature Schnauzer you have is pretty cute too.
It's
black, but it has a white beard.
And it's got a really nice haircut. I like the big bushy eyebrows.
It looks like a little old man.
Yeah. Somebody on our Facebook said it has an angry. Stacy says it has an angry look to it, and I go, I don't see an angry look, but hey, it's cute. It looks like it's a little more on the serious side right now.
Yes.
So,
and the photo is not up there though of the Morkie, but they will be.
No, they will be out there. So the Maltese is a small, white, fluffy, non-shedding dog. It is in that family realm of things as far as it's an easy dog to train. Tends to not be too feisty. I know we definitely have some Maltese owners out there that would beg to differ with that, but in general, they're not all that feisty. Combined with the Yorkie, to give it more color, the Yorkie's got the black and brown, and the Yorkies tend to go silver color over time. And so this Morkie has got a lot of color packed into it. The Yorkie's a little more feisty too, a little more active, a little more, I want to be in on whatever you're doing right now. And so you've got those 2 personalities going together to make up the Morkie. Overall, it's a playful dog, is what it is. People that are concerned with barking or biting and all that kind of stuff realize those are all trainable type traits that you can train out of them if it becomes prevalent. Most Yorkie owners that I know, if it's a barking Yorkie, I go, well, what do you do when it barks? And they go, well, we pick it up, and then they do something else. I go, that picking up part, when it was a puppy, you picked it up and you probably scratched its little head and said, yeah, you're a little dog, aren't you? Well, they were reinforcing the bark when they did it. The dog barked, they picked it up, and they gave it some loving. And so the little dog said, oh, I know how to get a little loving. I barked a little bit, and they give me a little loving. So realize that that's promoting it. Same thing with, we had a dog in yesterday, cutest little mixed breed, and it was whimpering. It was getting up on his hind legs, leaning against the owner, and then doing the whimpering thing. And I go, oh, that's cute. My dog does the same thing. And what does she do when your dog whimpers and is looking up at you? You pick it up. Well, you just reinforce the whimper. Guess what is going to happen more and more and more? And so if those are traits that you're tired of and you're like, gosh, I just wish it would stop doing that. And you can even have one person in your family get to that level where I'm just so tired of it doing it. That one person can actually train the dog for them specifically, and that's how it happens in my house. I don't prefer dogs doing that, and I think it was when I was a little kid. We had 2 Doberman Pinschers on our block, and they would, if I'm running down the block, they'd come out of nowhere and tackle me. And they were nice Doberman Pinschers. They didn't like attack me and get angry with me. They just knocked me down and had fun with me type thing. Well, I got intimidated as a little kid, and so I think there's something in my past that just says, you know, I just don't really like that aspect of getting knocked down by a dog.
Yes.
Whether it's a big dog or a little dog, it just seems to hit me in the wrong direction. And so I taught my own dogs to not do that. Now, they lean up and whimper and do all that other stuff with everybody else, but when I walk in the door, they come in and they do a cute little wiggle for me because they're so excited about seeing me. And so they stand at the base of my feet and they do this wiggle. When they do that, I immediately lean down and give them a scratch and some loving and all that kind of stuff. And so they know if they get up on me, I turn around immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go, wait, that's not what I wanted. But if they stay sitting there, then they get a little scratch. So now getting back to the Morkie. So if you haven't gone to the Facebook and looked up Petland, Iowa City and looked at the recent blog, you would see a caramel color, which I think is a really extraordinary. So the brown highlights really, really come out strong. So it's a caramel color, beautiful dog. To me, that is one of the most beautiful dogs. That color on a dog is really beautiful. It's brown with some white highlights in there with a little bit of black just sprinkled in here and there. And just a beautiful color that I describe as butterscotch. Fluffy, non-shedding. So this dog's going to be great for those people that have small housing, so you know, whether it's an apartment or a small house. It's also for those people that are looking for a little less maintenance. A little less maintenance meaning the poop is small, the pee is small. So when they go do their business, there's not as much to pick up and all that kind of a thing. The grooming side, though, is on a higher maintenance because it is a shedding dog. You got to brush that thing out. You're going to have to go get it groomed. You're going to have to clean eyes and stuff like that. I do a little trimming around the eyes about once a week for my non-shedding dog at home. So there is some more maintenance, but you know what? I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff, and so I enjoy making it all pretty and all that. You know what probably is the biggest reason why I like doing that is because when I set our dog down, little Susie, I get compliments from my wife, I think, every single time I do it. That's nice reinforcement at home. I just realized that. That's why I like doing it. Because then I know she's going to come and say, I love it when you primp up Susie.
You're being trained.
I am being trained. You got it. So
that's great.
You can do a little bit more research if you go to petlandiowacity.com. I do have a little link that says dog breed info. Click on that, and then it's got the alphabet. You can look up Morkie. There is a little description of that. I think even better, if you go to Maltese and look up a Maltese and do a little research on the Maltese, you're going to get a much better feel for what type of dog that is. And then go to Yorkshire Terrier, so Y, and you're going to learn about the Yorkshire Terrier. So you can learn about all these breeds. Even before you get in the store, we're going to do the same thing when you come into the store, teach you about each breed. We're going to get the books out and show you what they're all about. And then you're going to be able to pick out the personalities. And a little segment that I wanted to have at the end of the cast, but it fits right now. Because I have so many Morkies, right now you can pick out the best personality for you. Every puppy in a litter has a different personality, just like every child in a family has a different personality. So now is a great chance to come in, try them all out, and see what you like and don't like. Do realize that they are still puppies, their personalities are still developing. Also realize that sometimes it's just sleepy time, and you might go, oh, this one's really mellow, and it just might be sleepy time. So we'll talk about all that with you as well when you're in the store playing around.
That's Ron Salzer with Petland of Iowa City. This is the PAWsitively Petland Show on AM 800 KXIC. Hope you're off to a good start on Thursday. Welcome to the brand new month. It is May 1st, and we're going to wrap up this segment. We'll be right back with more. We're going to talk more about the topics of the day as Ron has laid those out. Some things to talk about today. And
training your dog.
Train your dog. And, oh no, it's the shock collar. Some people not big fans of these. There are some myths out there we've talked about in the past. We'll talk about it today on KXIC. 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800. If you have a Morkie, we'd love to hear from you today, too. Just tell us the name of your dog, a little bit about your dog, and we'll set you up with a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food courtesy of Nutro, just for calling the program to tell us about your Morkie. It's a Maltese and Yorkie And we'd love to hear from a Morkie owner out there, so feel free to call us if you have one, 319-354-0800. Back with more after this.
AM 800 KXIC on the air. Concept by Iowa Hearing Aid Center's digital studios. Foster Appliance is a proud sponsor of the Jay Capron Morning Show. They carry Whirlpool, Amana.
They got these like easy openings.
Plus, they offer
I thought it was like display ready or something.
338-5489.
Plan on thick clouds and more scattered rain showers today. High temperatures will still struggle for May 1st, only into the upper 40s to lower 50s area-wide.
Time saver. Total.
Oh, when I was,
In Cedar Rapids, we have delays on Blair's Ferry Road between Miller and Wadeside Circle.
when I was listening
There's
to
a pilot car, but expect
the
some
live
extra time to
stream
get to your destination.
when
Also, Edgewood
Peter
Road
Cass
by
was
Highway
here.
100. Delay there due to some construction. Also,
they got
Highway
on the
30
live stream. They have a
still.
whole different
Both lanes
commercial
blocked.
thing going on,
You
and
should
they
be able to
talk
get
right
around
over.
it.
Like you wouldn't even hear that.
And
I wonder, is it timed? And you gotta link up with the time.
Rigor. I can look into it, but that's good to know. I wouldn't.
Because I missed the whole. I was like trying to find it, trying to get it to work.
Okay. If
It's
you do
all
want to,
local commercial. It's you.
Those softball girls are tough, and despite the rain and cold, the Hawks and Panthers played last night in Iowa City on KCRG.
It's a different commercial set.
You and I was in control through
But how do they know when
jumping
you're
out to 9-0
on air?
Through the
sixth
system,
inning.
there's something
Bottom
that's
six
glitching
Hawkeyes
in it.
finally got on the board.
Okay, so
Making
just
blank, Buster solo shot to right field.
But it shouldn't
That
go to break
started
it
the
till I
rally
get
for the Hawkeyes. Lakers had a blank again.
Yeah,
Deep
missed
shot
the
to
whole
right field.
conversation. I heard. So let's talk a little bit more, and then all of a sudden it went into commercials. You talk, and then
no way for me to check the other way I could check that because it was a live stream.
you have to bring it up.
Yeah, but even if I put up a live stream, it
The
doesn't
Hawks
mean
won
it's
the
the same thing.
regular season Iowa Conference title this year and have carved out a
You just hear
33-6
what's
record.
happening
Co will
as
host the
if doing
conference
something
tournament
else while
starting
you're
Friday
doing
at
that.
Clarkfield. Earlier
That's
this
all I
season,
thought.
co-coach Bob
Yeah, I
Phoenix
can look
notched
into
his
it.
900th
Sure.
win at this rate.
If you do want to
It
hear
won't
it,
be
though, the
long before
podcast
he
is
reaches
available.
1,000. Co will
Yeah,
play the
And that
winner
won't be interrupted.
Simpson
No,
into
it's
the
not right.
first round of the Iowa Conference tournament. Friday at 2
That
o'clock.
was good, though. It was a nice addition.
Yeah,
Turtles
thanks for
in King
calling.
County were rained out last night. They'll make it up
It
today.
was. I was working on my aquarium, and all of a sudden my
5:05
phone started ringing. And
Stadium. In the big
ran up, and I'm
Frank
glad I
Pounder
caught it. I would have called you back.
I would just
Turtle. Mike
whack
Trout
it
had
out.
2 RBI doubles
It's
for
just
the
nice to
Halos
get that
in a
personal
7-1 win over the Tribe.
feel.
Anthony Rizzo hit his 4th home run of the year, and the Cubs beat the Reds 9-4. CR native Ryan Sweeney was 0 for
All right,
1
we're back,
last
so we're
night.
going to go
What a
into
game for
the
the
shot
Cards.
collar, right?
Alan Craig
Yeah. Now,
against
what?
the
Or when
Brewers.
are we going
He
till
was 4 for 5
42,
with a home
or are we
run.
going?
We're probably doing about
In
45.
a 9-3
Yeah.
Because I know.
win.
Yeah, right.
I'm KCRG TV 9, Scott Sable, and now you're up to date with sports on KXIC.
Oh, welcome back. It's the PAWsitively Petland Show on AM 800 KXIC. I'm Jay Capron. Ron Solzer here with Petland of Iowa City. And we are talking pets, as we always do here. I just had an email. Shout out to Margot, who said that our family and our pets have become part of her radio family.
Yay!
Oh, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800. That is the phone number to call if you would like to contribute to the show. If you have a Morkie specifically, we'd love to hear from you today. That is the breed of the week. It's a Maltese and a Yorkie together. I'd love to just get the name of your dog and then just tell us a little bit about the breed. Is it sleepy? Is it an active dog? Does it listen well? Was it easy to train or not so easy to train? And anything about your dog that's helpful. And it really is nice for other owners out there and other people to hear just about the breed we're talking about, because every week we feature a different breed, and this week it happens to be the Morkie, which is a Maltese, and a Yorkie. So 319-354-0800, and if you call, we'll set you up with a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food, courtesy of Nutro, 319-354-0800. Or you can email like Margot did to news@kxic.com. That's the email address, news@kxic.com. So there you go. Now Ron brought the product in here, and it's Pet Safe is the brand, and it is called an Elite Little Dog Remote Trainer.
So yeah, there's different versions. We have both the Elite, and that's actually, I'm actually taking that one home and trying that one out just to see how it's different from one of those mid-range, same thing, but just in the mid-range brand type thing. And wanted to see how it's different. Biggest thing I noticed right now is that it's rechargeable, and then you just plug it into the wall and recharge everything, which is very nice because my old one, which lasted for about 8 years, was a battery operated, and you had to always go to the store and buy new batteries and all that. And I'm looking forward to that specifically. Excuse me there. Hey, why does this make so much sense, using these collars? And everybody calls them shock collars, and if you want to put a negative spin on them, yeah, go ahead and use shock collar. And you know what? I respect those opinions out there that people think that way. That's okay. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise or anything like that. If it's the wrong thing in your mind, you know what? That's the wrong thing in your mind, and go with it. Use some other training techniques. And be tenacious on those training techniques. That's what's going to help you, is really working consistently and frequently on training techniques. And you can use treats and all sorts of things. Positive reinforcement, those are all great ways to do that. We can talk more about that, and we will talk more about that in the future. This one I just wanted to bring out for those people that have that dog where, and Susie was this in my mind a while ago, when she was biting my other dog's ears and drawing blood. And I'm talking, this isn't a big fight or anything. This is a 2-pound dog at this point, biting a 10-pound dog to the point where the ears are bleeding. Man. We're talking about a little dog that was getting into all the plants in our house. And we were getting through, you got a puppy proof and all that, and so we were taking care of it in that way as well. Chewing on furniture, chewing on rugs. When we would get her outside for 6 months, she was an angel. She would stay within the yard. We worked with her to show her the boundaries of the yard. She really paid a good attention. But at 6 months, man, something clicked on this dog, and she would run away. She would bite Callie continuously and wouldn't leave. And Callie is the type of dog that will just sit there and take it. She would just
Callie a dachshund, by the way, right?
Yes.
Just to give people a visual.
And so this occurred, and I started getting really frustrated with Susie because we were doing all the training, but she's a very smart dog, is what it ends up being. And so she kept on going further and further as far as doing all these naughty things, and we just couldn't figure it out. We also had another dynamic. There are 4 of us in the family. We all trained her differently. Even though we know how to train dogs, we all do it at varying degrees. I'm that staunch person every single time. You got to do the training. You're never out of training, and so I've got that mentality. Wendy, she's like, oh, it's kind of cute that time, and so give her a break. We've been training a lot, and let's give her a break on this one. And so you've got that, and then you got the kids. What? I didn't know they were not supposed to do that. So you got this whole gamut of people, and so Susie was like getting a little bit of mixed messages throughout our family.
Plus, she's going to figure out what she can get away with.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. When you guys leave, man, she's a terror. And so that happens in everybody's family. If there's only one of you in the family, well, then you can be very consistent on how you do it. So that was our issue, and I'll admit it, I was not very appreciable towards Susie. I was not gonna give her away or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I just said, man, I'm not digging this, at all. Very frustrated.
And let's take a quick time out just so that because one of the things I remember about this conversation, we've had a similar conversation in the past. And even if you're one of those that, like myself, this wouldn't be the first thing that I would want to try to use.
It's not the first thing for anybody.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the first thing. But if it comes between this or giving your dog up, because you just can't take it anymore, if you are able to implement this, and then as you'll talk about, you're able to maybe use it and then maybe not have to use it after a while.
Right.
If that's the difference between keeping your dog as part of your family and getting the dog to do the things you want, raise my hand. And if this is what it needs to take, then this is what it needs to take.
Right.
And again, I know you're going to talk about the actual level of, because there is a group, and I know there's people out there who think of these as just being evil awful torture things to do to dogs and to give them a shock collar, even using the word shock collar.
Right, and that's why that name rings bells out there.
Yeah.
So now, why is this such an effective tool? All you got to do is you can come into our store and you can just sit and watch puppies play, and you're going to notice some behaviors in there very quickly. You're going to notice that a bunch of them are all ganging up on one puppy. It's called playtime. And they're out there and they're just having fun and doing this and doing that. And because they're little babies, they don't know limits. And so maybe a couple of those that are really tying into this one that's just kind of taking it all right now, because by the way, it reverses and goes the other way in about 2 minutes. But maybe one or two of them starts using their jaw a little bit more, and it hurts when you do that. And so that one dog that they're all piling on right now goes yipe and says, I don't like that. And if that doesn't work and says yipe and that one doesn't stop doing it, what does it do? It turns around and it gives it a little nip back. Now we're not talking about big bites or anything. There is no blood going on in this little puppy playtime and all that kind of stuff. But that bite is the training aspect. You got to think of how do they communicate with each other. You've got the bark, you've got the yipe, and you've got a whole lot of other sounds that they can make to let you know different things. And then they've got the bite, which says, stop it right now. I don't appreciate what you're doing. Just get away from me. That's what the bite is all about. Well, picture the static collar in the same vein, and it's actually a little lighter than a bite. When this does the little static irritation, it's like getting a little bite on your neck. And so when your little dog is doing something that you don't appreciate, equivalent, you're giving it a little bite. You're going to push the button, and you can actually vary that 1 through 5 on the intensity of that. We'll talk about that in a second here. But you then give it the appropriate little static. It's an irritant. That's all it is. Just like the bite is an irritant. Oh, I didn't like that. I'm not going to do that again. And so that's how the whole product works. That's the basis of it. Veterinarians have signed off on these things over and over and over. They're all like going, hey, this thing's a great tool out there. It makes sense. It works. And it's not necessarily the first tool you would use, but it's definitely a tool that you want to consider if you're at that frustration level. Hey, maybe your dog is barking and you're about to lose your dog. This is something you definitely bring in immediately, and you'll get immediate effects. So let's talk about those levels. The 1 through 5 on these things. If you do 1, if you have it on you, you won't even feel it. You'll say this thing's broken. It doesn't work. When you go to 2, you have to concentrate really hard and go, I think I understand what it's doing now. And that's about the intensity of it. Most dogs respond at that level right there. Number 3 is, okay, now I clearly know what this feels like, but you can do that all day. I could care less. 4, level 4 on it is, oh, okay, that's a little smart. Yeah, I can take it, but it's not all that shocking or anything like that. All right, now level 5. Whoa, okay, don't do that one again. I don't want to experience that. If you've ever accidentally, when you're plugging in a plug and you accidentally hold both sides of the metal pieces, have we all done that? Have you ever?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When you do that, you get a charge.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling than this collar is, but that's the level of, I'm not going to let that happen again, type thing. So that's the level of 5. You have to figure out, and the collar comes with training. It has links to webs. Even there's videos on the website that I'm looking at. They all show you how to do all this, but you find the lowest level that your dog responds to. And for instance, when you're trying to do it, you hit 1, nothing happens. You hit 2, maybe nothing happens at 2. You hit 3, and you'll notice your dog will look around. And what it's doing is I just noticed something, and who just did that? That's the level you do. It's only the level you notice.
Now, just to clarify, this is something that you physically have to take the remote and press the button to activate the
one that I have here is a remote.
Now, what about people who have the fences in their yards. Do you carry something like that?
Same type
it's
of
the same
thing.
premise, but how is
Same
that
manufacturing too.
okay? And you do carry that too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you just set them up in geographic locations in your yard?
Yeah, that one has a really nice training program with it. It's a 2-week-long program. If you just set this one up, there's one that's a wire that you put out, and there's one that's wireless. Everybody's going to the wireless one because it's so easy to set up. But it is a 2-week training process on that. Just think if you were you ran through your yard and randomly all of a sudden, bam, something like a hammer hits you in the head.
Right.
You'd go, what the heck was that? I'm going in. Hammers are falling out of the sky.
Right.
You know, so you got to train them and show there's this boundary, and when you go beyond the boundary, that's bad. When you stay within the boundary, it's good. And it's they go step by step every day what you should be doing on the fence product.
Okay, so there's different versions of this out there. This is one that's called Pet Safe. Mm-hmm. And again, as you said at the beginning, it's not for everyone. If this is a step that you need to take to keep your dog as part of your family, it's certainly worth the investment to do. Now, prices for these are...
This one's $175, and then there's one version of it that's less expensive, and I don't have that price right off the top. So, yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but you can get ones that are more economical. If you go under $100, I'm telling you, it ain't going to work really well. We've tried all of those. And there's 3 different kinds. One is for barking only, and it works when you're not even there. I'm working with the remote collar, and then there's like what we talked, the fence. If you're confused on, hey, which one do I get, come on into Petland and we'll talk with you. The remote collar is the most universal one you can do a lot of things with, but there's specific situations when you need that bark collar, and there's specific situations when you need that the yard boundary system.
All right, very good. That's Ron Salzer with Petland of Iowa City. This has been the PAWsitively Petland Show on AM 800. KXIC coming up. The Dottie Ray program is next. As always, feel free to email questions to news@kxic.com. It's the word news@kxic.com. And thanks for tuning in to Morkie in Focus today. Check out the blog at kxic.com as well. Ron, thanks for your show. Thanks for your contributions today, and it was a good show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ron Salzer. Next up, Dottie Ray program.